So I wanted to make a video about depression and cleaning, and the reason why is because when I'm depressed, I really don't want to do anything. And, this is classic sign of depression is people who are massively depressed, they don't want to do anything. They just want to lay around all day. And, some people are messier than others. I'm a particularly messy person. Like, I just leave my crap all over the place. I have to be very conscious about keeping my areas and spaces clean. Like, I'm actually really good at it when I try. Because it's not hard. It's not hard to do, a little bit at a time. But the thing is that when you're depressed, you don't want to do anything. So things build up. Like, you're like, oh, I didn't put my laundry away. Well, I'm too tired because I'm depressed to put my laundry away. Okay. So instead of putting your laundry away, you sit and you watch TV, or you take a nap, and then you have to go to work. You come home, the laundry's still not put away. You go to bed. But you don't have anywhere to put your clean clothes because your dirty clothes, because your clean clothes are in the hamper. But you just want to go to bed. You don't want to put away the clean clothes because it's too much work, you're tired, and on top of it, you're still depressed. And you have absolutely no motivation to do it. So you just take off your clothes and you drop them on the ground. And you're like, I'll just put them in a pile. Well, the next day, you don't feel like putting away the clothes, and then on top of it, you've got more clothes on the ground. And you still don't feel like doing anything. Maybe you have a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, or you have to go to work or something. Or you're just fucking depressed and you sleep till noon and then you get up and you can barely make it downstairs to go get yourself, I don't know, a cup of coffee or to go get some breakfast or something. So it just continues, and the next day you throw something on the ground, and next day and then you start digging your clothes out of your hamper instead of actually putting them away in the drawers and the closet and stuff like these should be hung. And the thing is like, you can catch these things and you can make them better. And you can make yourself less depressed. Because I know, like in terms of, like, your mental state, having a clean area, clean workspace, it's not only good hygiene, but it's important to your mental health. If everything is a complete disaster around you, you're gonna feel like you're in chaos. Like, literally. Like, if everything's just super, unorganized all the time, you're just gonna feel super chaotic. And it's not gonna be good for you, And so, you have to have, places for your things. And you have to have things organized. Because when you have things organized, it's not that it's a indication of you as a person or anything like that. It's that it mentally makes you better. Like, if your world is organized and everything's in its place, it gives order to your mind at the same time. You come home, it's like, come home, dirty clothes in the hamper. Next morning, you don't have clothes on the ground that you have to pick up. Then, laundry day comes around, you don't have clothes all over the ground that need to be picked up. You have a hamper that has to be carried down. And then, you spend the extra 30 minutes putting away your clothes, folding them, hanging them up, so on and so forth. And you just don't let it get out of control. So I mean, that's one tip in dealing with cleaning, is just Don't let it get out of control in the first place. The second thing with it, and this is specifically for people, I don't know, who either have a hard time getting motivated or maybe have anxiety, because a lot of people who have depression have anxiety that is comorbid with the depression. I, for instance, am one of those people. I get extremely anxious, and then I don't want to do anything, and then I get depressed because things start not doing well for me, and then I have mean thoughts, and I get more anxious, and everything makes me anxious. Cleaning makes me anxious. Doing anything makes me anxious. And if you're that type of person, or just somebody, because you're depressed, you have no motivation whatsoever. Just none. Don't want to. Make yourself a list of very, very small tasks. Like, okay, today I'm going to hang up my shirts. That's it. Just do that. Next day, I'm going to put away my pants. The next day, I'm going to put away the rest of my clothes, socks and underwear. Following day, pick up the clothes that are on the ground. Put them in your hamper. One thing at a time. Just one thing. Spend 5 to 10 minutes on it. Spend 15 minutes on it. Just one thing at a time. Next day, maybe move to the bathroom. Clean the toilet. Next day, maybe go downstairs to the kitchen. Do the dishes. Maybe the next day, you come back to your room, you vacuum it. Do little by little. And the thing is the other part of it is, especially with the motivation part, where you sit there and you're just like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. And you sit there and you're just like, I should be doing something. But all I want to do is just sit here and not move and just stare at the TV. Or the computer, in my case. All I want to do. And eat. If you're a stress eater, like I am, eat. But a body in motion stays in motion. Body at rest stays at rest. So if you're having a hard time with motivation, you need to get yourself moving. And here's the great part, because at a certain point, when you decide, okay, I'm going to put my pants away today. Well, you get done with the pants, and then you go, well, what I have left are the socks and underwear. That doesn't take very long. So you put the socks and underwear away, and then you go, well, I got 5 minutes before I have to go to work. I'll just throw all these clothes in here. Hey, look! You just condensed 3 or 4 days into one cleaning. Why? Because you're already moving. You're already doing something. And when you do something, you're more able to continue doing things. It really. And so you clean, you get the clothes cleaned up or whatever. Because like my issue is I don't put my clothes away, and then my room falls apart after that. So clothes for me, really big thing that I have to keep an eye on. And good rule of thumb, the ground on your floor should be clean. It should be relatively free of clutter. Like if you have like a stack of books, whatever, like there shouldn't be garbage all over the floor. There shouldn't be towels and clothes and stuff all over the floor. Having space will first of all make you feel less claustrophobic too, if you have an issue with that. It makes you feel better about yourself, because if you're a clean person who comes home every day and they take off their clothes and they put it in the hamper, and the floor in their room is perfectly clean, and they come in there and it smells good, and there's not rotting food all over the place or whatever. Not that I have an issue with that, but if you are, you know, especially like teenage boys, you know, something you gotta teach teenage boys, I would suppose. But, you know, stuff like that, it's like, you're gonna feel better about yourself when you come home and things are organized. And be like, oh yeah, I did that. You come home and you walk into your bedroom, maybe the light's off. You don't stumble over anything. Isn't that great? And so you crawl into bed and you're not all angry because you just stubbed your toe because you didn't clean the room. And then that reminds you that you didn't clean your room. So now you're sitting there and you're worrying about the fact that you fucking didn't clean your room. And now you have to do that tomorrow, which was supposed to be your day off. But now you're going to spend the whole day cleaning your goddamn fucking room because you can't stand the fact that you're stumbling every fucking time that you're trying to walk through it. And then it just gets overwhelming, and then you're like, fuck it, I don't want to fucking do it. I'm just not going to touch it. And then you say screw it, and then it doesn't make you feel good about yourself. Because you know you should be doing it. And the thing is just knock it out a little bit at a time. Knock it out a little bit at a time, and then it gets easier to do more and more. And the more you do, the better you're going to feel. And of course, there's other things you can do to make your depression better. And this is mostly, you know, a video about, you know, keeping your space clean. And if you're having a hard time being motivated or getting over the anxiety or whatever, just tell yourself, okay, especially if you have anxiety, like crippling anxiety, just go, one thing. I just have to do one thing. Maybe it's take my dishes down. Just one thing. Or if you're like me and I have a really hard time with prioritizing, I have to go, okay, well, I really want to clean my room because it's a disaster. I really want to clean my workspace because it's a disaster. I have to do the dishes. I have to clean the downstairs. I have to go research the vacuum thing. And I go, how fucking long is it going to take me to do all that? And then on top of that, I have to go work. So I have to prioritize for myself too. And it's like, if I leave my room a complete disaster, I'm not going to feel good. Okay? But if I pick up the clothes off the ground, do one thing that takes me 5 to 10 minutes, it makes me feel better about myself. Right? You don't have to clean the entire room at once. That's not the way it has to happen. You can, but do a little bit of it. Just do a little bit every day. Maybe each room, pick one thing. Think of them as projects. And I don't know if this is a weird term or not, but be like, this is a project. This is something I choose to do. This is something needs to be done, and I'm gonna approach it like something like a problem-solving situation, or just this is the thing I gotta do. And just think of it as your little projects. Yeah, like I got 5 little projects today. Be like, one project is to go around the house and collect all the plates and stuff and put them in the kitchen. Another project is to do my laundry. You know? Maybe you only have a couple projects that day, but just think of them as little projects. Don't think of them as chores, or whatever. And if you're having a hard time, especially with motivation, like do something that's going to be pleasurable for you in terms of a goal. And I know it can be really hard for people to like get out of the house. And so I don't know, but something like within your comfort range, of course, because I know how hard it is to want to get out of the house. But like reward yourself with something. Like, oh, for instance, if you're a video gamer or something and you're like, okay, well, I can't video game today until I do my little projects. And it's like my little project is I don't know, do the dishes and clean the tub. Simple. 2 little projects. Doesn't take you very long. And then you reward yourself with something that you like. And then, but of course, the other part of it is making sure that you're doing other things to make your depression better. Other things you can do, get exercise, because the more you move, the less you're going to be depressed. If you're having real significant problem, think about getting on some medication. If you have issues with anxiety, you can also think about some medication for that to take in the moment. I have some of that, which is good. Think about some therapy. That might help depending on who you are and what your situation is. Eating turkey can help. I know this sounds weird, but turkeys and bananas, they have, turkeys for sure, have tryptophan or whatever, and that turns into serotonin. And if you don't want to take medication, but you still want to up your serotonin, that's a good way to do it. So increase your turkey intake is a good way to help boost your serotonin and make you feel better. Yeah, so there are a lot of good things that you can do. Make sure you eat a balanced diet, like fruits, veggies, you know, get your vitamins and all that stuff. Then balance it out with, you know, meat and your carbs, but a balanced diet. You know, like, and try not to overconsume, because you know that, like, one of the tendencies in depression is to overeat, because you are so depressed, you don't feel good about anything, and so sometimes, like, the only thing that makes you feel good is eating, and then you gravitate towards, like, junk. Like, you'll go for, like, the sweets, or, like, the super greasy shit at the you know, fast food joints and stuff. I'd say, yeah, go have yourself a McChicken or a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger at Wendy's once in a while. That's okay, but you want to balance it out with eating fruits and vegetables and getting those nutrients that you need to help your body function, because without those nutrients, you're not going to feel good either. So there's a lot of things that you have to balance out, but keeping your space organized and keeping your house clean, really important. It doesn't have to be some anxiety-inducing thing. You can do just a little bit at a time, and as things get cleaner and cleaner, you'll start to feel better and better. So just keep that in mind. And way you can think about it is, like, if you have a space where you're at a lot, and say, like, it's a disaster, whatever, you have dishes everywhere, you're gonna go down to the kitchen to go get something. Take a pile of dishes down with you. You're walking down to the kitchen anyway. It's not that much more work. Just little by little. That's my suggestion. So, I don't know if this helps anybody, but I know that keeping things clean really makes me feel better. So, have a great day, guys.